So, Namaskar. I have with me Urmilesh, senior journalist, and Anil Chamedia, who is also senior journalist and activist, to speak on UP. UP elections are being declared. A lot of stakes for every political party, from Congress to BJP to SP. And this is also a fight which will see how the next Lok Sabha election will be. The scenario is going to change after this 5 state assembly elections. So let me begin with Urmilesh. You wrote a small Facebook post which provoked me into this. And you talked about an overall scenario where the opposition in the assembly has an upper hand. What do you think? Because we see a campaign mounted by BJP for the last 1 month. A friend of mine in Times of India marketing says they are spending about 4 crores a day in the media alone, apart from rallies and other things. Do you think that the ground feeling is so bitter that uh, these ads won't matter to the people when they actually vote?
See, Cherian, the scenario in Uttar Pradesh election is very complex. There is a strong anti-incumbency, there is no doubt. People are fed up with the government of Bharatiya Janata Party headed by Yogi Adityanath. And there are, valid reasons for such kind of dissatisfaction among the masses. During Corona period, particularly in the wave 2, situation in Uttar Pradesh was very, very pathetic, very pathetic. And everybody know, the whole world know what was happening in Uttar Pradesh. I need not say here in this program. And secondly, mismanagement of Corona pandemic. Apart from that, the unemployment rate is very, very high, very, very high in Uttar Pradesh. And thirdly, the price rise. And fourth, they claim that they have maintained law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh in a very good way or very efficiently. But the fact is something different. If you see the NCRB report, NCRB report itself says that Uttar Pradesh has highest number of crime. And crime against women, crime against Dalit, crime against even kids. And it's a very, very high number, very high number. So on all fronts, Uttar Pradesh administration headed by Bharatiya Janata Party is really failed. And most important thing that they propagated in 2017 election that if they win the election, they will create large number of employment. So along with the Ram Rajya, along with the communal agenda and all emotive agenda, they also declared many schemes that they are going to implement, particularly the socio-economic schemes of socio-economic benefit for the common people. But they left all the socio-economic issues behind, and emotive issues became very, very important. Now they are showing there is a fark. They are advertising every day in the newspapers of Uttar Pradesh, fark, yani difference before 1917 and 2017. They are claiming that after 2017 everything is wonderful, extremely wonderful. Investment is there, highways are there, so many things. They are also showing metros are in many cities and many towns, etc. But they are forgetting that they had the chief ministers, before 2017 also. Rajnath Singh was there, Kalyan Singh was there. I mean, they had, more than 2 chief ministers earlier also. And when Uttarakhand was united, along with Uttar Pradesh, I mean, they were undivided Uttar Pradesh. Many chief ministers were there, and now, after division of Uttarakhand, some chief ministers from BJP, I mean, took over even in the first government of Uttarakhand. So in my what I am trying to say, they are claiming that before 2017 everything was very bad, and now everything has become very good. So one example just I am taking. Leave aside others. They are saying that they have introduced metro in many towns. But what is the use of metro when metros are there, but even people are not there to go by those metros? So in my opinion, not only in Uttar Pradesh, in many states where metros are not needed at all, there is no need of metro. But even then, metros are being provided to the people, and people are not traveling because of it's very costly. And secondly, in a small and medium scale towns and cities, there is no need of metro. They need better public transport system. But metro itself is a big scam in this country. So everywhere they want to introduce metro. So in my, if I conclude, I mean, this government is very unpopular, but as far as the opposition is concerned, they are unable to capitalize. They are unable because they don't have, a very articulate leadership. So Akhilesh Yadav is the main leader, main party of opposition in Uttar Pradesh, but he is unable to capitalize the situation. And BJP, if by default win the election, it is only because opposition has no vision. Opposition really have no vision, in my opinion, in Uttar Pradesh, and they don't have organization also. Organization wise also, RSS and BJP are very strong. So even then, even when they are so unpopular, because of the lack of coordination among the opposition and lack of organization, anything may happen.
Okay, Anil, another point here is that the farmers' strike and Western UP farmers were particularly upset with the BJP, and of course the Lakhimpur Kheri killing, all of it. Will it have an effect, and how is it opposition, as Urmilesh pointed out, can they capitalize on it? Will they come together for a minimum understanding during elections? What is your expectation, Anil?
Cherian, sorry to say, I will speak in Hindi. एक तो कि पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश को माना जाता है कि ये किसान आंदोलन जो हुआ उसका एक तरह से उत्तर प्रदेश में वो सेंटर था। लेकिन जब किसान आंदोलन 10 महीने, लगभग 10 महीने हो गए, उसके बाद स्थिति ये बनी थी कि पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा का जो संगठन है वो बन गया था और पूरे राज्य में ये किसान आंदोलन होने लगा था। अब सवाल ये है कि जो पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी होती है और खासतौर से जो सत्ताधारी पार्टी होती है, अगर वो कोई कानून बनाती है और कानून को बनाने के बाद विड्रॉ करती है, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि ग्राउंड सिचुएशन जो है वो बिल्कुल चेंज हो गया है। और वो ग्राउंड सिचुएशन उत्तर प्रदेश में भी उसी तरह चेंज हुआ जिस तरह से आपको मालूम होगा पंजाब में हुआ। पंजाब में प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कभी उम्मीद नहीं की होगी कि उनके 70,000 सीटों यानी 70,000 was for the peoples, और केवल merely 700 peoples was come there. So तो ये रेशियो है, ये रेशियो है 70,000 और 700 का, 700 and 17,000। पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश में भी आपको याद होगा कि जब गवर्नमेंट ने इसको एक तरह से किसान आंदोलन को सप्रेस करने की कोशिश की थी, इसको खत्म करने की कोशिश की थी। गाजीपुर में राकेश टिकैत ने अपने 2 बूंद आंसू बहाए थे, 2 बूंद, 2 ड्रॉप्स, और वो आंसू के बाद पूरा पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश गाजीपुर बॉर्डर पे पहुंच गया था। तो मैं आपको ये सिचुएशन बता रहा हूं कि ग्राउंड रियलिटी चेंज हो चुकी है। जो ग्राउंड रियलिटी आपने कम्युनलिज्म के आधार पर आपने डिवाइड किया था, कम्युनलिज्म के आधार पर आपने किसानों को किसान के बजाय जाट और गुज्जर और दूसरे कास्ट में कन्वर्ट कर दिया और कम्युनलाइज कर दिया, वो किसान फिर से अपने खेतों में लौट गया है। और जिस तरह से वो भाईचारे के साथ, वहां के मुसलमानों के साथ, वहां के और 2 सिखों के साथ जिस तरह से वो रहता रहा है, जैसे लखीमपुर खीरी में एक सिख माइनॉरिटी जो है वो बड़ी पॉपुलेशन में है। तो इस तरह से आप ये पाएंगे कि ये जो कम्युनलिज्म का जो कार्ड है, उस किसान आंदोलन ने एक तरह से उसको तोड़ दिया है, उसको खत्म कर दिया है। और इसका असर अब चुनाव पर पड़ेगा। चुनाव में निश्चित रूप से जो उम्मीद कर रखी थी पहले 2017 तक, 2017 तक बीजेपी ने जो उम्मीद की थी पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश से जितनी सीटों की, मैं ये समझता हूं कि वो 700 यानी 770,000 का जो रेशियो है, उसी के रेशियो में वो पहुंच जाएगा। इस तरह से वो इफेक्ट करने जा रहा है। आई थिंक सो।
Yes, Anil, I agree with you on farmers' friend. But as Urmilesh pointed out, is there an opposition which can garner votes in each assembly seat and defeat BJP and also give an assurance to the voters that we are going to form the government? So because these days people have become very demanding. They are disappointed with the present regime, but they need an alternative. They need to see that.
I will tell you one thing. 1977 में जो इंदिरा गांधी का जो ओपोजिशन था, उस ओपोजिशन वो उसी तरह से डिसऑर्गेनाइज था या ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं था जो आज की स्थिति है। तो मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि कई बार होता है पार्लियामेंट्री पॉलिटिक्स में कि जो पीपुल्स होते हैं, जो सिटीजन्स होते हैं, वो खुद ही ऑपोजिशन हो जाते हैं और वो खुद ही उनका जो वोट होता है, ट्रेंड ऑफ वोट्स जो है, वो एक ऑपोजिशन को एक तरह से वो उसको कंस्ट्रक्ट कर देता है। आप ये देख लीजिए किसी भी राज्य में जहां जहां भी, जैसे बिहार में देखिए, बिहार में जो चुनाव हुए थे, ऑपोजिशन के बारे में यही कहा जा रहा था कि ऑपोजिशन तो बहुत बिखरा है, लेकिन फाइनली देखिए क्या रिजल्ट लेके आया बिहार में। आप किसी भी राज्य में आप पिछले 10 सालों में जितने भी चुनाव हुए हैं, आप उन सारे चुनावों को देख लीजिए, उसमें आपको ऑपोजिशन के बारे में यही कहा जाता रहा है कि वो ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं है। मेरा ये कहना है कि एक पार्टी के तौर पर किसी भी पार्टी के पास अब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप जो है किसी भी पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी के पास अब नहीं बची है, एक्सेप्ट बीजेपी। अब बीजेपी के पास भी अपना नहीं है, वो आरएसएस का है, आरएसएस का ही वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन किसी के पास भी नहीं। लेकिन ये जनता है, पीपुल्स जो है, वो खुद एक ओपोजिशन के रोल में उतर जाती है और जिस दिन पीपुल्स ओपोजिशन के रोल में उतरती है, उस दिन फिर बहुत ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है। उत्तर प्रदेश में हालात अभी यही बने हुए हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में हालात यही बने हैं कि लोगों ने खुद ही एक ओपोजिशन की कमान जो है वो संभाल ली है। इसीलिए मैं ये समझता हूं कि लीडर जो है यहाँ पर अभी कोई मायने नहीं रखता है। अभी अखिलेश लीडर है, मायावती लीडर है, या कोई भी लीडर अभी कोई मायने नहीं रखता है। 1 पॉइंट बीजेपी की गवर्नमेंट है, उसको हराना है और किसी भी तरह हराना है। तो इस तरह से मैं ये समझ कि ये जो कहना कि ओपोजिशन बिखरा हुआ है और ओपोजिशन इस जो रिजेंटमेंट है रूलिंग पार्टी के खिलाफ, उसको वो ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं कर पा रहा, मैं ये समझता हूं कि ये बहुत मायने नहीं रखेगा चुनाव परिणाम में।
Okay, Urmilesh, we all were students during emergency, where in fact in South that we were told that the South supposed to be enlightened voters went with Mrs. Gandhi, but people who are not so enlightened or not so educated, they realized the danger to democracy and voted out Mrs. Gandhi and emergency. So what Anil is saying that there is a similar situation in UP, and without opposition unity as such, whatever you may say, Janata Party was united. You know, there was JP to galvanize things, which is not there now. So how do you see the situation emerging?
No, I'd be very happy if situation in Uttar Pradesh emerge like what my friend Anil Chamadia is predicting. I would be very happy because I belong to Uttar Pradesh and I like Uttar Pradesh. I mean, or even Hindi heartland because these are the weak points of Indian politics, where emotive issues are more important than the real issues. So unlike South Indian states, most of the South Indian states, the political content in North Indian states are less than what we see in South Indian states. But as far as UP situation, UP scenario is concerned today, I do differ. I agree that there is a large scale dissatisfaction. There is a strong anti-incumbency, as I said earlier. But during Indira Gandhi regime and today's regime, one should understand that there is a huge difference in the power structure, the political scenario, as well as the social reality. The corporate dominance in Indian politics, the media network, particularly the television channels. Most of the channels in India today are working like a propaganda machinery of the ruling party. I don't have any hesitation to say, and their penetration is very very strong and large, penetration among the common people. So, and there are certain schemes also in the villages. So the people who are living in low consciousness area, low political consciousness area, they may be what do you call, they may be influenced by these schemes like the free rice, free food grains, and some some schemes of giving cash to the farmers and all. What my friend Anil Chamadia was saying about Western UP, I do agree. In Western UP, the situation is quite changed. I don't know what will happen next 1 month, but certainly today in Western UP, the influence of farmer agitation is very, very deep rooted. So here in this area, BJP will not be able to win the seats what it was winning earlier. But as far as the central UP is concerned, in eastern part of Uttar Pradesh is concerned, from where I come, so in that area situation is not like that, because the influence of farmer agitation in my area, eastern UP, was not as it was in the western UP. So that is why there is no self what do you call it, spontaneous upsurge of the some kind of strong people's movement. So in my opinion, you can compare with Indira Gandhi era, that people voted against emergency and against autocracy without any organized strong opposition. And secondly, I also mentioned, I also referred many factors like corporate dominance in Indian politics today is very very large, the media role and all. So and with influence and media influence, there is a more influence of religious communal issues also in Hindi heartland, particularly Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the capital of emotive issues. I mean, it's a battleground of such things. So in my opinion, it is very mechanical to say that things is changed and people will replace the political leadership, and they themselves become political or a leader. They I don't see in Western UP this might be a reality, but in rest of the Uttar Pradesh, which is a very large, large area, central UP, Ruhelkhand, Bundelkhand, and Eastern UP, this situation is not prevailing. One thing is prevailing ki everybody is unhappy with BJP. But what about the opposition? So if, see, the BJP is very, very strong as far as the organization because of RSS. They know Panna Pramukh. They have, the booth manager. But what about the opposition booth manager and Panna Pramukh? If suppose there is some kind of bungling going on, who will stop it during this COVID-19 scenario in the third wave? So in my opinion, I cannot predict what will happen in the election as a journalist. As a journalist, I can say, yes, there is a large scale dissatisfaction. There is a strong anti-incumbency against BJP, but the opposition party, mainly the Samajwadi Party, which is the most what do you call, strong opposition party, relatively with other opposition parties, they are not working as they should have worked, and on subjective front, their efforts are very, very low, and they are talking nonsense also. Sometimes Akhilesh Yadav talks about Farsa Ganasa of Parshuram and all, and sometimes he talks about Jinnah and all. So this is a trap. You cannot fight BJP with their own, on their own agenda. You cannot go and enter into their own way. They want to see this election. So in my opinion, if opposition within next few weeks, if they take up real issues of the people, if they really go against government and its misrule, then only they can manage this election. Otherwise, it is very strong. It is very, very unpredictable election. Still, I believe.
Anil, as you said,
चलिए मैं एक क्लेरिफिकेशन में दे दूं पहले तो ये कि मैंने 1977 का जो एग्जाम्पल दिया, 1977 का एग्जाम्पल मैंने ये कोई तुलना नहीं की है। 1977 मैंने केवल एक समझने के लिए कि आप जब ये सवाल करते हैं कि विपक्ष बहुत बिखरा हुआ है, उसमें कोई एक लीडर नहीं है, मैं उस सिचुएशन को बताने के लिए केवल उसमें कोई मैंने तुलना नहीं की कि 1977 में हुआ है तो आज वो, मैंने केवल वो जो एस्पेक्ट है उसको मैंने चुनने की कोशिश।
Okay,
ठीक है,
Anil, my question is about the emotive issues. As you rightly said, Uttar Pradesh is the capital of emotive issues. How does, now that Ram Mandir is going to be a reality, there are many issues of, it's being constructed. That is one of the biggest electoral plank of BJP also, that Mandir Udari Banadunga. So how does this emotive issues play into all this discontent? Will that water down the discontent?
देखिए, एक बार हम आपको याद होना चाहिए और हम सबको याद है कि 6 दिसंबर 1992 जब बाबरी मस्जिद वाज डिमोलिश्ड, ठीक है, और वो शायद भारत की जो कॉमनल सिचुएशन थी, शायद उसकी इमेजिन क्या हम लोगों ने तो उसको देखा है वेबसाइट, लेकिन उसके बाद उत्तर प्रदेश की राजनीति में कम्युनलिज्म का कार्ड नहीं चला, और उसके बाद मुलायम सिंह और मायावती की सरकार बनी। यानी कि मायावती का मतलब मायावती जी में बहुजन समाज पार्टी और समाजवादी पार्टी सरकार। ये कहना है कि कम्युनलिज्म का कार्ड बीजेपी खेल रही है, खेलेगी, क्योंकि उसके पास एक सिंगल वही है जिससे कि वो जिसके आधार पर वो चुनाव में जीत हासिल करना चाहती है। राम मंदिर वही बनाएंगे और राम मंदिर हमने कामयाबी हासिल कर ली। क्या हमें लगता है कि इस इशू पर, इस मुद्दे पर बीजेपी चुनाव में जा रही है? मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इस मुद्दे को लेकर वो चुनाव में जा रही है। वो उसको बार बार देखिए, विज्ञापन जो है उसकी किस बात के लिए विज्ञापन आ रहे हैं। विज्ञापन को अगर हम एक एग्जाम्पल माने तो सरकार के जो विज्ञापन आ रहे हैं वो आ रहे हैं अपने वेलफेयर स्कीम्स के, अपने डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स के आ रहे हैं। तो वो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि ग्राउंड में है, ग्राउंड सिचुएशन ये नहीं है कि आपका कॉमनल कार्ड चल पाएगा। कॉमनल कार्ड जिस तरह से, मान लीजिए कि इसके पहले जब बिहार में चुनाव हुआ था तो कॉमनल कार्ड ही खेलने की कोशिश की गई, या जहां भी चुनाव हुए हैं। तो मेरा ये कहना है कि कॉमनल कार्ड उत्तर प्रदेश के कुछ हिस्सों में चल सकता है, कुछ इलाके में चल सकता है, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता है कि पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश की राजनीति को कोई राम टेम्पल का इशू या कॉमनल इशू कोई बहुत ज्यादा प्रभाव डालेगा। मैं तो ये समझता हूं रियल जो इशू है, उर्मिलेश ने ठीक कहा कि अगर वो ओपोजिशन की पार्टियां रियल इशू को रेज करे, रियल इशू को अपना फेस बनाए, तो मुझे लगता है जैसे तेजस्वी यादव ने क्या किया था। तेजस्वी यादव ने एक बहुत ही एक कहे कि बहुत ही अच्छे तरह से उसको अपने प्रचार को, चुनाव प्रचार को उसने एक तरह से आर्टिकुलेट किया था। वो कि देखिए साहब, सरकारी जो जॉब है, इतनी सरकारी गवर्नमेंट जो जॉब्स है उसको फिलअप नहीं किया गया है, और उसकी जो नंबर्स ऑफ जो जॉब्स है ऐसे अराउंड 5 लाख है। तो उसने कहा कि इस 5 लाख के अलावा प्लस 5 लाख, यानी कि हम 10 लाख जॉब क्रिएट करेंगे, देंगे, और जिस दिन हम ओथ लेंगे उस दिन हम देंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये तेजस्वी यादव का जो ये कैलकुलेशन, जो एक प्रोपगंडा बना, उसने बहुत काम किया, उसने उसका असर हुआ। तो ये अगर अखिलेश यादव, मायावती जी और जो ये 2 मेन लीडर हैं, अगर ये लोग इस तरह से कुछ चीजों को प्रेजेंट करने की कोशिश करें, अपने चुनाव कैंपेन का हिस्सा बनाने की कोशिश करें, चुनाव कैंपेन करें और एक बहुत ही श्योर करें अपने वोटर्स को, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये काम कर सकता है। लेकिन कम्युनलिज्म से अगर खेलेंगे अखिलेश यादव या मायावती जी, कोई भी अगर कम्युनलिज्म से खेलेगा तो ये बीजेपी को सपोर्ट करने का ही एक तरह से काम होगा।
Urmilesh, will opposition, which is totally divided as of now, Congress made big claims that they are resurrecting in UP, but we all know that many of the district doesn't have a functioning district Congress committee. So, so that is the kind of situation. So where does this mobilization, who will do the mobilization of this discontent into votes?
So that is the big question. That is the Yaksha Prashna. I mean, Yaksha Prashna, why? Because Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, he is still not taking up the real issues, basic issues of the common people. I mean, like what Anil Chamadia was referring, that Tejaswi Yadav took up the issue of unemployment, and that was the biggest issue. And in fact, Tejaswi Yadav would have become a chief minister of Bihar today if in that election he could have managed the Kosi area and the Simachal area through the different alliances and all. Otherwise, it was a wonderful atmosphere of Bihar election. That time, it was almost very clear that opposition is going to win the election. But somehow, in the last hours, BJP and some Kosi and Simachal area management. Anyway, but the comparison is very, very important, what Anil Chamadia said, because if you see since last 1.5 months, if you are if you go and analyze the main opposition leader of Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav campaign, there is no issue at all of the common people.
Yeah.
He is talking about some issues, but it is not, focal point. So he is playing around the BJP created issues. So BJP created agenda. If he is playing, then it is a very fire. It's a big, and his hands may burn. So if his hand is burned, then there will be no chance for any great work. So in my opinion, Akhilesh Yadav lacks political understanding, and his party too, not only individually. And thirdly, Uttar Pradesh has such kind of politics since many years, and Bihar maybe is ruled by BJP JDU alliance today, but still Bihar politics is quite different from Uttar Pradesh politics. I mean, not very qualitatively different like South India, but Bihar, has an influence of socialist movement, even the left movement. In Uttar Pradesh, there is no socialist movement, no communist movement legacy. I mean, very organized. I'm talking about large scale. It's communist left politics has certain pockets in the future, in the past.
Yes.
In the same way, the socialist also had some pockets of in Uttar Pradesh. But Mulayam Singh emergence, when he emerged as a leader, he was neither a very consistent socialist nor he was such politician like Chaudhary Charan Singh. So he became very close to corporate because of the Amar Singh influence and all. Everybody know it. So in my opinion, today in Uttar Pradesh, there is a lack of leadership. There is a lack of alternative politics. There is a lack of alternative leadership. Congress is unable to provide, although they are raising some good issues, very, very positive issues they are raising, but they are unable to influence the common people because the Uttar Pradesh OBC and Dalit cannot afford to take Congress party as their representative party, because they have betrayed the cause of OBC and also Dalit, a large section of Dalit in Uttar Pradesh. So still Congress has some dubious, since Congress has had dubious past, so still people can't believe 100% that Congress is changing, although they are changing, but it is not, still people are not believing. So in the last, in the concluding, this is my concluding remark on your question, that Uttar Pradesh doesn't have a leader like M.K. Stalin of Tamil Nadu. Uttar Pradesh doesn't have a leader like Pinarayi Vijayan of Kerala.
Okay.
Uttar Pradesh doesn't have a leader even like Mamata Banerjee. So this is the tragedy of Uttar Pradesh today, that in this situation, almost it was certain that BJP will lose the election. But still, as a journalist, I can't say if BJP is going to lose the election. Anything may happen in Uttar Pradesh. This is my concluding remark.
Okay. Thank you, Urmilesh, for that insight. Anil, you may raise the issue of discontent reaching the peak and people themselves responding. So you heard Urmilesh saying about the leadership issue. Do you think that will play out and we will see a status quo, that is BJP coming back with maybe a slender majority?
नहीं, मतलब ये उत्तर प्रदेश के बारे में अभी ये कह देना कि सिचुएशन क्या होगी, ये अभी बहुत कहना जल्दीबाजी हो जाएगी। लेकिन बीजेपी के लिए अभी कठिन समय है। बीजेपी मैनेज करने की कोशिश में लगी है, लेकिन वो पहले की स्थिति में नहीं रहेगी, ये कहा जा सकता है। मैं एक ऑब्जर्वर के तौर पर ये कह सकता हूं कि बीजेपी की जो सिचुएशन 2017 में थी, अब वो स्थिति नहीं रहेगी। वो एक कमजोर स्थिति में पहुंच गई। नंबर 2 बात कि ये सही है कि जो बीजेपी जो लीडर हैं, अपोजिशन लीडर हैं, अभी वहां लीडर कोई, यूपी में एक तरह से कहें कोई लीडर नहीं है, पोजीशन ही क्या, रूलिंग पार्टी का भी, बीजेपी का भी कोई एज सच लीडर हो सकते प्रदेश का लीडर। योगी आदित्यनाथ की कहा कि ये इनको उत्तर प्रदेश का चीफ मिनिस्टर बनना है। तो आप ये कहिए कि यूपी पूरी की पूरी यूपी अभी लीडरलेस है। तो लीडरलेस की स्थिति में यूपी को सोचना है कि कैसे वो अपने राज्य की लीडरशिप डेवलप करे। ये अपने आप में बड़ी चैलेंज है पूरी यूपी के सामने ये चैलेंज है पूरा। तो मेरा ये कहना है कि अभी लीडरलेस जो ओपोजिशन जो की पोजीशन में जो लीडर की कमी दे रही है, पर्सनालिटी की कमी दे रही है। तो देखिए तेजस्वी के बारे में भी यही कहा जाता था कि तेजस्वी पता नहीं क्या करेंगे, लेकिन शायद वो तो मुझे लगता है कि मायावती अभी वहां एक बड़ी लीडर है एक। हाँ जी।
Okay, our time is up and internet is acting up here. So thank you for both your inputs, and we hope that opposition can galvanize the discontent, as you said, or people will decide ultimately who they want. Thank you very much, both of you.